Most men assume they'd know instantly if a woman wanted to sleep with them. They imagine bold, flirting intense. Eye contact may be a suggestive comment that makes everything obvious, but here's the twist. When a woman is genuinely open to crossing that line with you, the signs are not loud at all. They slip into the tiny moments, the pauses, the way she moves when she thinks you are not analyzing her. Psychology shows that real sexual readiness hides in subtle behaviors she would never confess to, and in this video we are breaking down 10 of those rare signals, including one final sign that only appears when she is already imagining how the night could end. Before we get into that, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and ring that notification bell to stay up to date on all our videos. 1. She lets her private self slip into the room, the version she normally edits out around men. Most men think sexual interest shows through physical cues, her body language, her eye contact, her touch, but before those ever show up, something more subtle happens. She lets parts of herself appear that she usually hides. Women maintain an internal filter around men they do not trust sexually. They regulate their expressions, their language, the way they tell stories, but if she is open to sleeping with you, that filter loosens. She swears more freely. She laughs in ways that sound less controlled. She shares the off-the-record version of events. Not the polished version. It is not just attraction, it is permission. She is showing you what she is like behind closed doors, not because she intends to be vulnerable, but because desire disarms her. That shift only happens around men she feels sexually safe with, and if she gives you that unedited self, it means she is imagining a situation where intimacy would not feel dangerous. It would feel natural and comforting to she positions her body in ways that expose a normally protected area, not for comfort but as a subconscious invitation. Signal women instinctively guard certain body zones around men: the inner arms, the sides of the neck, the waistline, the hips. These are areas linked to vulnerability, and women do not expose them when they feel neutral or cautious. But when she is comfortable with the idea of sleeping with you, something changes. She might tilt her head to the side when listening to you, exposing her neck, not in a flirtatious way, but in an unguarded way, or she might half turn her torso, revealing the soft part of her waist. These gestures are primal trust signals. She is not opening her body language, she is dropping her shield, which is something entirely different. Women only do this around a man they feel physically safe with and sexually interested in. If she exposes areas she normally protects, she is signaling that intimacy with you does not feel like a risk. 3. She gives you proximity permission. During transitions, doorways, tight paths, narrow gaps, one of the clearest signs of sexual readiness appears in tiny blink, and you miss it. Micro moments where you and her have to navigate shared space. Most women instinctively create distance in confined spaces because being too close to a man triggers a self-protection response. But if she steps through a doorway and pauses, so you have to pass close behind her, or she lets her body brush yours when you both squeeze past in a narrow gap, or she stands still instead of shifting away when you walk by, that is proximity permission. It is not accidental. Women do not forget to move out of the way. They register closeness far more sensitively than men do. When she allows that closeness, and especially when she creates it during transitions, she is signaling that physical escalation from you would not be unwelcome. It is a quiet green light most men never notice. Real quick, if you are watching because you want to understand women better and improve yourself in the process, type elevate. Let us see who is turning insight into action, for she switches from conversational eye contact to assessment scanning. This is one of the rarest and strongest signs, and almost no one talks about it. At some point, a woman who is open to sleeping with you stops looking just at your eyes and starts scanning, not in a sexual undressing. You weigh this as something deeper. She evaluates your frame, your shoulders, your hands, your jawline, your height. She is subconsciously running calculations about what being close to you would feel like. This assessment scan is instinctive and deeply rooted in female psychology. The key difference is she does not hide it when she is just attracted. She looks away quickly to avoid being obvious. But when she is sexually open, she lets you catch her looking because she wants you to register her interest. When her gaze shifts from communication to evaluation, she has mentally placed you in the eye. With category 5, she stops regulating her breathing around you. This is subtle but powerful. Women often control their breathing when they are nervous, guarded, or not sexually interested. They stabilize it, keep it consistent, and try to appear calm. But if she mentally crosses into sexual territory with you, her breathing changes, maybe not dramatically, but enough that you notice something feels different. It may get slightly deeper, slower, or momentarily uneven after you touch her hand or lean close to say something. She is no longer hiding physiological arousal, and arousal is not always sexual excitement. Sometimes It is simply her nervous system responding to the possibility of something happening, but the fact she is not suppressing it tells you she is comfortable letting sexual energy exist between you women. Do not let that happen with men. They do not want sex. She allows your touch to linger in a way she would normally break quickly. Most dating advice focuses on when a woman touches you, but the more revealing sign is how she responds when you touch her when a woman is not sexually interested. She breaks touch almost immediately. Even a friendly touch gets a polite but quick exit. But if she is open to sleeping with you, she lets touch last a fraction too long. You might rest your hand on her lower back for a second, and instead of stepping forward to end it, she stays exactly where she is. You might brush an arm, and she does not pull away. You hand her something, and she keeps her hand against yours longer than necessary. It is not bold, it is not flirtatious, it is the absence of resistance, and that lack of resistance is one of the clearest sexual indicators you will ever get. When a woman does not break a physical moment, she is telling you that more physicality would not be unwelcome. 7. She introduces micro-situations where you need to lead her physically. Women who are open to intimacy often test what it feels like to let the man guide them, not in dramatic ways, but in tiny natural situations. She might walk slightly behind you on stairs, so you instinctively guide her. She may pause at a crosswalk and wait for your cue to move. She might ask, which way should we go, even if she already knows. She is testing the feeling of letting you take a physical lead, because sexual intimacy involves exactly that dynamic. At certain moments, if she likes the feeling of you guiding her in micro situations, she is already imagining how it would feel in more intimate settings. A woman who is not sexually open maintains control and avoids being led. A woman who is open gives you opportunities to lead so she can feel the chemistry more clearly. 8. She lowers her shielding behaviors. The subtle ways women protect their body, drink, phone, or personal items. Most men do not realize how much women shield their space. They angle their body away, hold their drink close to their chest, keep their phone in hand, cross their arms, clutch their bag, or subtly create barriers between themselves and men they do not trust. But when she is sexually open to you, these shields disappear one by one. She puts her drink down instead of holding it tightly. She leaves her phone face down on the table. She lets her purse sit beside her instead of in her lap. She turns her body fully toward you with no objects in the way. Women only lower shields when they feel both safe and attracted. Removing barriers is not just comfort, it is psychological readiness for closeness. If she is dropping all shields in your presence, she is signaling that intimacy with you does not feel like a risk. 9. She changes herself. Presentation mid-interaction, not before it getting dressed up. Before seeing ooh is attraction. Changing her presentation after she is already with you is sexual interest. When a woman suddenly adjusts her posture, fixes her top, repositions her hair, smooths her skin, reapplies lip gloss, or subtly checks her reflection mid-interaction, she is updating her appearance based on the idea of you wanting her. The timing matters. These shifts do not happen because she planned them. They happen because something you did or said triggered a thought. I want him to see me at my best. Women do this unconsciously when they are preparing for intimacy. She is not flirting for attention. She is calibrating for closeness. If she becomes more polished, more feminine, or more composed in the middle of being around you, she has entered sexual imagination territory. 10. She gives you what psychologists call anticipation stillness. This is the most powerful and least talked about sign of all. When a woman is open to sexual intimacy, there is a moment where she stops moving, not because she is anxious, not because she is bored, but because she is waiting. It usually happens when the tension between you peaks, during a pause in the conversation, a moment of eye contact, or when you are standing close. Her breathing settles, her shoulders relax. Her face goes neutral and she just waits, watching you. She is giving you the moment. Women do not create anticipation stillness with men. They are not interested in. They only do it when they have mentally accepted the idea of intimacy, and they are curious to see what you will do next. It is the clearest nonverbal yes she can offer without speaking. When you see this, she is not testing you, she is inviting escalation and trusting you to recognize the moment and respond with confidence, awareness, and respect. Up next, discover if she is secretly checking you out, or learn how women at work flirt when they like you. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe for more powerful insights that help you understand female psychology, attraction dynamics, and the subtle ways desire reveals itself even when no words are spoken.